Sairam. In the last Parayanam session, we had talked about the first convocation of the Sri Satya Sai Institute of High Learning. That was in the year 1982, on the 22nd of November. I had mentioned that on the same day in the morning, the administrative block of the Sri Satya Sai Institute of High Learning was inaugurated by the Chief Minister, Mr. Gundurao, Chief Minister of Karnataka, Sri Gundurao, in the presence of Bhagwan. The convocation address that year was delivered by the eminent jurist, Mr. Nani Palkhivala. Was considered to be a very brilliant jurist. He was a former ambassador to the United States of America, and he was also a member of the Sri Satya Sai Institute Trust. In his enthralling extempore speech, he spoke about the 5 human values, and it was a very refreshing way of looking at the human values. He started by paying a tribute to Bhagwan, saying that the chancellor of this university is a great teacher and a great organizer. I feel truly honored, he said, to be addressing a convocation of this type, where looking around, he said, I doubt whether in the history of education any convocation has ever been attended by a gathering so diverse in character, so disciplined in conduct, and so numerous. Even in the convocation which was held in the centenary year, that is 2025, we had the Vice President of India speak to us, Mr. C.P. Radhakrishnan speak to us, and he mentioned this, that the disciplined gathering was something which was very refreshing, and you can see that this has continued for the last 4 decades. It is a memorable experiment in the moral and spiritual regeneration of India. It is a great experiment that shall not fail. This is what he said. A number of experiments have been made by educationists in the past century, and many of them have not flourished. But he said, this shall not fail. We propose to have here a center of discipline and decorum, of decency and dignity, which unfortunately have left other universities far older than this institute. The standard we wish to maintain, as the Vice Chancellor explained, is equalled by few and surpassed by none, either in the country or in any other country. He said, the Institute has before its mind the 5 ideals which Swami has been propagating so memorably and indefatigably for so many years. The 5 ideals which Swami asks us to keep in the forefront are Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, and Ahimsa. These 5 ideals are the very foundation of the Institute. They confer on it inspiration. They are the criteria for its success, and they are the hope for its future progress. It will not be out of place to speak a few words about them. And after having said this, the chief guest went on to delineate each of these human values. In brief, it is like this. First, Satya. It is amazing that these 5 words have no equivalent in the English language. There is not a single word in English or German or French which could give the full concept of the word Satya. Satya means much more than the word truth. It means being true to yourself. It means intellectual integrity. It means to act according to your conscience. These various nuances are not to be found in any foreign language. In our world today, truth is in the background and untruth is on the ascendant. Yet a little thought would convince you that this is but a passing phenomenon. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne, yet the scaffold gains the future, and behind the dim unknown standeth the God beneath the shadow, keeping watch above his own. So, this was a beautiful poem that he narrated to say that God stands with those who follow the truth. God keeps watch over them above his own. Look at the next concept of Dharma. There is no equivalent to it in any foreign language again. Dharma is not only right conduct. Dharma is righteousness, nobility, a way of life, a philosophy of life which makes you a worthy citizen of the world. What will the students of this institute do when they have learnt their lessons? They will learn what I call as the obedience to the unenforceable. We all keep on the right side of the Indian Penal Code because it is enforceable. You won't commit a theft because you can be convicted. But there are some concepts which are not enforceable by law, which Dharma alone enjoins upon you. It is this Dharma which will make a man go into professions and shun the unwelcome face of capitalism which all the world condemns. It will teach you not to become cynical, for cynicism corrupts and absolute cynicism corrupts absolutely. It will teach you to avoid what you may call the fatty degeneration of the conscience. It will enable you to go into commerce without a commercial outlook. As you pass out of the portals of this institute and go into business and take employment in a commercial enterprise, it will enable you to contribute not only to the gross national product, but more to the gross national happiness. And I venture to say that the alumni of this institute will cultivate their minds not merely with a view to offering them as a commodity for sale in the marketplace, but cultivate their minds to pursue their own highest destiny. As Swami very often says, education is not for a mere living, it is for life. It cultivates the mind to pursue its own highest destiny. This is the great ideal of a truly liberal education. You may go into the field to do well, but you will stay best to do good. It is amazing how India has survived for centuries without a strong government, without the type of laws we know. What held the nation together was this ideal of Dharma. It spread the greatest ideal to which human conduct can aspire. Shanti. No, Shanti is not merely peace. It is equanimity of the mind, serenity of the mind. Shanti plays a great role in an integrated person's life, conduct, and behavior. If you have Shanti, you know how to protect yourself in the last hour of your life. Next is Prema, about which Swami has spoken so eloquently all over the country. Prema is not only love. There is the element of compassion in it. There is another element of understanding in it. I hope the students who study in this institute shall have learnt that love is the greatest force in the world. There has never been and shall never be a substitute to it. You find it among the poor even more than among the rich. It is the major nourishing factor in life. It is the great concept of love which holds humanity together. And the ancient Indian ideal that all mankind is one, if ever it can be employed, shall be done only when love is universally accepted as the greatest principle of human conduct and behavior. Ahimsa. Dr. Oppenheimer said in one of his writings about Dr. Einstein, perhaps the greatest intellect of the 20th century, that he was a great believer in Ahimsa. And he said he was using the word Ahimsa because there was no word equivalent to it. Ahimsa is not merely non-violence. This Dr. Oppenheimer was quoted by Dr. Bhagavantam. When Dr. Bhagavantam had come to Bhagwan, Bhagwan was going to the Chitravati sands, and as they were going on the sands of Chitravati, Swami asked Dr. Bhagavantam to choose a place where they could sit. Even though Dr. Bhagavantam said that any place that Bhagwan chose would be fine, Swami insisted on Dr. Bhagavantam choosing the place to sit. And Swami started a tirade against scientists, saying that scientists were brainless and they had no concern for society and so on. And they did not believe in the culture and things like that. And Dr. Bhagavantam was provoked. He said, Swami, it is not that scientists don't believe in culture or do not have values. For instance, Dr. Oppenheimer, at the height of his glory, when the first nuclear bomb was exploded, atomic bomb was exploded, said, looking at it, he described the entire event to the press, the world press which had gathered, in terms of the Bhagavad Gita shloka, in which Arjuna sees the Vishwarupa of the Lord like thousands of suns simultaneously in the sky. And he said, Swami, if American scientist can speak about Bhagavad Gita in the height of his glory, why do you think that I don't believe in Indian culture? So Swami immediately said, oh, so you also believe in Bhagavad Gita? He said, yes, Swami, I do believe, even though when Swami asked him, so do you read it? He said, no, Swami, not always, but yes, once in a while. And then Swami took sand from the Chitravati river and poured it into his hand, and it became Bhagavad Gita. So this was an experience which brought Professor Bhagavantam closer to Bhagwan. So it was this Oppenheimer about which Mr. Palkhivala was mentioning. Ahimsa is not merely non-violence. There's far more to it than non-violence. It is identifying yourself with the entire created universe. It is the feeling of oneness with all animate creatures. And Ahimsa is one aspect of love. You cannot love anyone unless you have Ahimsa. When the students of this institute have learned these 5 ideals, which form the quintessence of Swami's teachings, they will have acquired what the ancients called buddhi. It is the state of mind which not only makes you wise, but also gives you an insight into all created things. A man of buddhi has an insight into all that he finds around himself, all that he finds himself in. And then the chief guest said, Swami is, if I am not impertinent to say so, the wise in concentrating on education for the regeneration of the nation. There is nothing as an alternative to true education of the type this institute has been founded to impart. An institute like this is the builder of the nation. It's not merely a university. There are scores of universities. They don't build the nation. But this institute aims at building the nation. And you have to start at the age at which you find these boys and girls here. The child is the father of man. This institute aims at regenerating excellence, at generating excellence. These young boys and girls cannot do everything, but everything they do, they must excel in. The objective of this of an institute of this kind. The objective is an institute of this kind will one day turn out men and women who will be lighters of opinion and movers of peace. The moral emphasis which is laid here is never too heavy. You can never have too heavy an emphasis on the shaping and molding of character. The educational ideal to which this institute is dedicated is different from training. Animals can be trained, only humans can be educated. In order really to have education, what is important on the part of the student is personal involvement and transformation. Education cannot be given to anyone, it has to be inwardly appropriated. And in the days to come, when the voice of this institute shall be widely known and accepted, there will be a great demand for the boys and girls who have come out of this university after an intensive, broad based program of 5 years, and they are bound to be employed by people who are less qualified than them. So, this was the beautiful lecture that Sri Nani Palkhivala gave on that first memorable convocation in November 1982. We will continue in the next session. Sai Ram.